Hello, everybody. My name is Daniel Johnson. I know a lot of people out there has bigger issues to fish to fry, about why I really want to interview about this coolest movie coming out very soon in the books. So I'll give you the title already about the Studio Six Six Six. Because I'm the man who loves horror movies, horror experiences in my own case. Because me and my parents, like my mother, we both not exactly in common at all. Not one bit. Because I've been grown up on horror experiences, for sure. Because me and my mother share a horror experience stories to me, actually. Only me. Because we lived through it of dark times and bad times, about something that really bothered us, that was my mother always think that she was thought that she can be not actually 95% that she turned out to be Christian. But interest, no, she is not. She thinks she is. But I'm gonna scratch my head and everything that I still know how to believe that. But to me, back in the case about why I went to interview about this horror movie that I just posted of the title that really consuming for everybody who never give the damn about. And to me, I want all the people who understands of horror movies is all about of life and death experience that really does bother people more often. But to me, it does bother me too because I lose a lot of family members because it's not what the horror movie is all about. Because it's not the same thing. Because if you really were watching the horror movies, it gives you feel like it's freedom. It's giving you not what you think about death at all. Or I don't know what you think about don't you clear yourself. But horror movie is telling you I'm not going to think about this, I'm not going to think about this to try to kill myself. Not at once. Not whole billion years of light years to try to, you know, going to be dead in a long hands. But this horror movie that I'm trying to explain is just a reality, but in an aspect to it that can be based by a serial killer himself. Like Jarvis Mason, I would say, because this really reminds me of this, by specifically, because Jarvis Mason is a crazy occultist person, and part of him, he has a different life style that he assumingly have. He does have family, and he has a pet, or when they think about it that way, is that I would really like you to come my family. I know how to give the damn about it. But perhaps that's what people is thinking right now. All about our word on YouTube channel. That people is being greedy to tell the word in a wrong way about why we should interview of horror films. Because we've been grown up of all ages ago. And we want to know why a horror movie is all about of life and death. For example, the other YouTubers just mentioned about life and death also, just as Matthew Centurion. He's the only one person to know about that, of what life and death is comparing to the work for that. Genuine, I would say. But to me, I like this guy. And I'm not trying to sue this man at all. I'm not. I really am not. No way, heck, to believe so. But this movie that I want to talk about is biological evidence of what Charles Mason lived for, about how he really into himself, like he loves to create music. And he had voices in his head to tell him to never do this to me. And that's what the movie's about. By a man himself as a band member to card of his own music full writers. Because the band member, one of the band members, named Dave Grohl himself, he tried to masterpiece a movie that based by Charles Mason itself. And that's why he wanted to see the dream that Charles Mason never had of his lifetime, that he actually understand about. And that's why what Dave is trying to do is to create a legacy of Charles Mason, maybe turns out to be. Yeah. That's why it's an aspect of that movie, of the studios it's all about. Of life and death. Or voice in your head. Tells you I clear my own band members. Like that. I'm not having action. Ugh. In the case is life is too short. Life does make women. And those are real change that. And that's why I want to talk about this interview. And now I'll give you the aspect how it's actually existed in this day, in this day only. It's all about. But I know the rest of you out there who disagree with me from this aspect, believers who recently saying that's not what it's all about this horror movies itself. But point is, this has to be. Because we love horror movies. As I said, best of people around the world who've been born of everything. Good times and bad times. Memories and bad memories. And that really never changed of that. But in our heart and knowledge, we just want to know what's like of the true aspect in the movie that really turns out to be. But to me, I never lied to you about this review. But now you know the details of the review itself. And that's what I say right there. I know you guys really don't like it. But to me, it's part of the entertainment to make us happy about it. It really wants us to watch it. There's some laughter to it. And only one thing I would do would always be dodge of killing spree, like tossing a drumstick at someone's head. That's one of those things. But it never bothered me when I watching it already. Of this movie trailer. I've just been watching like 3 times already. And really turns out a really great movie to me, actually. But in an aspect itself, it has some detail to it, like Book of the Dead, Mommy in there, like they took the idea from the Evil Dead franchise, I would say, of the series. They took the idea from that. The man of his face turned green. He looked like a DC villain, with a guitar. The part comes out in the front. You know what his character is? It starts with H. Hobo, whatever kind by. But he was in the DC Legend of Tomorrow, also in the works. They have hobo in there too. I can't say his name right, but it's spelled with the HEBO for short. But he's a gothic DC villain with a long hair, white face, and black makeup. You know what I talk about. But it was used to highlight of that into this movie to be called The Studio 666. If you imagine that, it looks exactly like it. White face and green face. Different setup, but that's what I'm really thinking about. It's like two-way cousins, to say, of the hero that he was. That's what I see right there. I'm kind of excited by that movie. And I can't wait to see it. That can be come out. For sure. I'll give you the link in below of the ads above here. Might be pop up, or you might see what I talk about. But please check it out. See ya. Bye.